Welcome to Milan, the capital of northern Italy. I'm Jack Bernicle. We're here for the third round of the European Supercross Championship, which is being held in conjunction with the 65th annual Milan Motorcycle Show, one of the great motorcycle shows in the industry. And they have an outdoor arena, live arena, which has been combined with the Milan show to produce round 3 of the European Supercross Series. We've been in Italy, we've been to Bilbao in Spain, now we're back in Milan, and this truly is one of the great get-togethers. It is a really fine show, along with Paris and the NEC in Birmingham, the 3 great motorcycle shows in Europe. Fittingly, of course, Italian Toni Cairoli on the Ducati Racing Yamaha is the current leader of the European Championship on 27 points, 2 ahead of the Bud Racing Kawasaki of Frenchman Marvin Musquin. The City of the Madonna, of course, is a huge attraction for visitors, for tourists. The Sforzesco Castle, the Dome, an icon of Italian industry. The Scala Theatre, of course, one of the great theatres of the world. And 15,000 people were able to gather in the live area, if they chose to take a look at what was going on with the Supercross. Off-road of sport, of course, is huge in Italy on 2 wheels. And there was a very, very large section of the Milan show devoted to off-road.
We are with Julien Bill. It's the 3rd round of UAM Supercross, but for you is the 2nd race. What happened?
On the first round I was riding pretty good, and on the final I had a big attack from another rider, and I got injured on my finger, so I couldn't race the 2nd round in Bilbao, and now I'm fit again, so I'm back for Milano.
You ride for Italian team, but you are a French.
Yes, I'm a French rider, but I ride for an Italian team because I found this team for the season of UAM 6 Series, and it's better for me to have a team because in France I'm alone, and it's a good bike.
For this series of 2007, it's the first time outdoor. What do you think about the track?
Yeah, you know, the track, it's really nice. It's more it's different than other normal Supercross track because it's outside, and also the ground, it's not really hard, and it's a really spectacular track, and I'm happy for be here and for do this race.
It's a little bit different for this race because it's outside, and but it's fun. It's a little bit cold, and the track is a little bit sand, but it's same for every rider, and no, it's okay.
Mais c'est sûr qu'aujourd'hui c'est à l'extérieur, donc il fait plus froid.
Says, sure, today outside it's colder than we're used to, so we must find the right settings for the motorcycle. The track is the same, except there's a bit of sand, so it's a little different from the track in Bilbao. But the bit on the hard ground, that's good.
You must have suspension more hard because there is a big jump, and for the hoop section it must be hard.
This is unusual for us. It's really cold here today, and you have also to make the setup of the bike different because of the degrees, you know, outside. But for the rest, it's pretty good. I like the track, and we have a good crowd here today, so should be good.
Now we have with Marcos Freitas from Brazil, and we want to know what happened in the workshop before the race.
Yeah, we have some different type and the setting for the bike, you know. Some different setting of suspension, also the engine, you know, have to be more strong, more bottom, and a little bit just more hard, also the spring and fork front, and that's it.
So the first qualifier brings together Deglia Sposti Suzuki, Thomas Rametz Kawasaki, Fabien Isoire on his Suzuki, Julien Mercadier on Suzuki, Jeremy Ricard on Yamaha. The sun's shining. It's a beautiful day. The 30-second board goes up. 9 riders in the first qualifier, 4 of them go through to the heat, and then there's a repechage race for those that don't make it. Headed into the first turn, and you can see Englishman Jack Brunel on the TM, number 77, is also involved in this skirmish. Jeremy Ricard, number 266. At the front, though, number 111 is the stylish multi-Italian champion, David Degli Esposti, on his Suzuki. And the little Italian looking pretty neat as he hits the whoops hard, and then there's a high bermed right turn for them to make a clean turn after that, and then underneath the bridge. It's great to see a bridge on a Supercross track. Remember the ill-fated Stamford Bridge, Chelsea, 20 odd years ago, run in the rain, but with a bridge just like that to get the length into the circuit. And as you can see, run in conjunction with the 65th Milan Motorcycle Show means that they've got a tremendous crowd here to enjoy this. Thomas Ramet from the Saki Club on his Kawasaki is running in second place. Things aren't going smoothly for everybody, however. And the man who's down is number 266, Jeremy Rico, who made a good start on his Yamaha. It didn't last. At the moment, Jack Brunel running down in 5th place. The young Englishman who will be joining the SMX racing team for 2008. And those whoops are going to cause a few problems. They already are doing. Not, however, for this man, David Degli Esposti. He's looking in pretty smooth control. And he is tripling and then doubling the whoops, but his pursuer is looking a little wilder. Fabien Uzois across the whoops, but can't quite make it catch-up time. He qualifies comfortably enough in second place behind Degli Esposti. Fabien Uzois, the 20-year-old Frenchman, is second. Thomas Ramet, Kawasaki, third. Julian McCartier is fourth. But Jack Brunel on the TM has to go through to the provisional last chance. Julian Bill heads the start list for qualifier 2 ahead of Stefano Dami, Jean-Baptiste Maron, and the veteran Dutchman Marco Stolman. I didn't even ask Marco Stolman how old he is. So many years since he was the European motocross champion. Off the start, a good gate for Alessandro Cinelli on the Party Racing Honda. Bike number 12. Also in there is number 100, Manuel Becconcini, or Becconcini. And Julian Bill, number 29, trying to get on terms. Bill, of course, rode for a British Yamaha team a couple of years back. Now riding for Martin Honda, who took him up halfway through last season. And a tall Swiss rider, number 29, now 24 years old, currently lying in third place in this race. Number 511, Stefano Dami of Italy on the FFO Suzuki, trying to find a way around the lead, the early leader.
Secondo passaggio, Cinelli, sempre davanti a tutti.
Julian Bill now becoming the threat, closing down the lead of number 12, Alessandro Cinelli. So it's Honda versus Honda at the front. Oh, and a neat move by Julian Bill, looking for the inside line through the whoops. Supercross, not necessarily a thing you associate with this Swiss guy. Started winning championships very young. The first, he won the Swiss 65cc Minicross Championship back in 1993. And then their Minicross 80cc title in 96. He goes for the inside line and gets the better of a very ragged Cinelli. So Julian Bill makes his way to the front. Sidelined with that finger injury. He missed the Spanish round in Bilbao. Checkered flag goes out. Julian Bill takes victory. Behind him, Cinello, Manuel Becconcini and Marco Stolman. The veteran Dutchman in 4th place. He'll transfer directly to the semi-final. So Marone Bader-Manet, the veteran American who's been based for so many years in Italy, also finishing out of the direct qualifiers. Now Antonio Cairoli, number 222, the championship leader, lines up in heat 3. And all eyes will be on Cairoli. And his speciality, oh dear me, he takes no prisoners, does he? He comes off the start line sideways, wings his way across in front of everybody else, and then knocks the lad in black almost through the bales. And somebody else already in trouble, 47, Mattia Tondelli of Italy on his Suzuki. But the Decali Racing Yamaha is ready to put on the show for the crowd straight away. Behind him, number 204, Simone Cappellini on a Suzuki from the Valconca Club. And everybody else crowded together as Cairoli takes off into the distance. It's going to take a good man to get the better of him, especially after the Ricci Yamaha's David Gianeri wiped himself out against the whoopsie-daisy. He made a mistake. And that's how they're going to get the better of him, if Cairoli makes a silly mistake when he's not concentrating or looking where he's going. So suddenly, number 204, Simone Cappellini, finds himself in the unusual position of being in the lead. But for how long? Here comes Cairoli again. Just like that. Glides round the outside underneath the bridge and back into the lead. Oh, great style. So the battle for second place recommences. Number 153 is in there. That's Marco Madi on the Madi Racing KTM. 19-year-old son of former 125cc Grand Prix Championship challenger Corrado Madi. But in this beautiful northern Italian sunshine, it's Sicily's Antonio Cairoli who takes victory. Behind him, Marco Madi moves through to second place on the KTM ahead of Matteo Aperio and Mike Valade of France, with Simone Cappellini slipping back to 6th place. He'll have to go through via the last chance. Number 153, Marco Madi, finishes second on the Madi Racing KTM. I wonder if he'll ever be as good as his dad, who won 5 125cc Grand Prix. So Cairoli, Madi, Matteo Aperio and Mike Valade are the ones who go through. Ferrari, Cappellini, Tondelli and Russo will all need to go through, if at all, via the last chance. Welcome back to the European Supercross Round 2 in Milan. And with the news that Englishman Jack Brunel went through in the second of the last chance races. So he's out there on the Italian TM alongside Bader-Manet and Fabio Ferrari, who went through also in the last chance. The winner of the race, Stefano Dami. And they will join the guys who qualified directly, like David Egli Esposto. Let's see what I'm a little concerned about Jack Brunel. He's joining the SMX racing team, but his extremely experienced teammate for 2008 would be none other than Jason Higgs, who acted as a kind of mentor and trainer to Jack. I can't make up my mind whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just be careful what you pick up from Jason, Jack. Choose the advice carefully. So into the first turn, Brunel right round the outside, but oh no, he gets away with it. He almost got pressed into the bales, but he emerges in about 5th place, so a good start for the young Brit. At the front, Bader-Manet is there. Good heavens, number 3. The man who was David Egli Esposti is leading the way, but Bader-Manet, number 3. The veteran Italian-based American who when Grand Prix racing was only being held as a 20-minute sprint, he's not so good across the whoops. Bader actually won a race at Schwanenstadt in Austria back in 1992, a mere 15 years ago, and he wasn't young then. Julian Bill, number 29, has pushed past the veteran American into second place. A bad start from Fabien Isoire. He's down behind Jack Brunel in 5th place. And again, with this semi-final, the first 4 across the line qualify directly to the main event. Otherwise, it's your last chance repechage. Across the whoops. And it's only really the front 2 men who are hitting those whoops hard, skipping across the top and looking clean and comfortable. In and out of the sunshine. And again, Julian Bill. Now look at this, nice move. But again, not quite in deep enough to block the route of the veteran Italian. "28-year-old now, the man from Bologna. Only an hour down the road, of course, from where we are now. Won his first Italian Supercross Championship in 2001, when he was also 4th outdoors in the Italian Motocross Championship. And then he won that Italian Supercross Championship for the next 3 years, and also won the European 250cc Supercross Championship in 2003. So number 111, Davide Egli Esposti, with a good record both in Italy and Europe. And Fabien Isoire has come through now, pushed through into 3rd place. Jack Brunel and the TM have dropped back to 9th, out of qualifying places, but a strong ride by the 20-year-old Frenchman Fabien Isoire, who's based actually in Buzig in Spain, and tends to ride Spanish championships. He was the runner-up in the Spanish MX2 Championship of 2007. This is the battle ahead of him between Suzuki's Egli Esposti and Julian Bill. I'll give you a large variety of versions of this man's name. David Degli Esposti, who started out riding a Lem 50 at the age of 5 years old, and that was as a race as well. It wasn't a case of going out and messing about in a field. So he's been racing for 25 years. I beg your pardon, 23 years at the age of 28. This guy is actually the leader of this race, actually the only Italian who's ever qualified in a main Supercross event, in an AMA race across the Atlantic. Jack Brunel's moved back to 8th place, and he's threatening Bader Manet, who's travelling backwards through the pack from that opening lap second. Isoire there in black on left of picture on the yellow Suzuki, lapping at the same speed as these guys. Julian Bill set the fastest lap of 42.49 seconds, but it still hasn't been enough to get the better of the leader. Marco Stolman on the TM, number 27, was staying out of the way there, having the blue flag waved at him. That means someone wants to overtake you, keep out of the way. I think Julian Bill now settling for second place. He knows that's good enough to qualify. Julian Bill, of course, who made his reputation on much bigger motorbikes than these, 3rd in the World MX3 Championship of 2005, before moving into MX1 and finishing 15th on Yamaha in 2006. This a 10-lap event, and Jack Brunel still moving forward up to 7th place now, ahead of Beda Manet and Fabio Ferrari. What a great name, Fabio Ferrari, if he owns one. This Moto Live arena at the Milan Motorcycle Show. Great idea. You can see that the weather's a little bit chipper. There's plenty of anoraks and people well wrapped up amongst the audience. These guys, of course, keep themselves warm by riding. In complete contrast, of course, the next round we'll bring you on Eurosport 2 will be from the Genoa Supercross, which is the oldest established Supercross in Europe. Yep, too true. Paris-Bercy has just celebrated its 25th anniversary. But Genoa's been going longer than that. And don't forget, if you want to see Supercross at its best in the UK, well, the 2nd and 3rd rounds of the British Supercross Championship, as David Egliasposti takes victory ahead of Julian Bill. I'll tell you about that in a sec. Let's check out the results here. Well, that's a confident young fella. 28-year-old, triple Italian Supercross champion. But of course he'll have to contend with Toni Cairoli when he gets to the main event. Cairoli heads the starters here, along with Fontanesi, Cappellini, Ricco and Battista Marona, who were the guys who came through via the last chance to join Valed, Perio and the rest. So on the start line, oh, and Cairoli's been left. Cairoli, what's he done? He's either stalled it or never had the thing switched on. He's got left absolutely at the back. So whoops-a-daisy. Now everybody making as much of a mess as the whoops as they can to try and get in his way, but it's number 12, Alessandro Cinelli, a fast starter who's gone away at the front, ahead of another fast starter, Mike Valade of France on his Honda. And there's number 100 in 3rd place, Manuel Becconcini, riding Yamaha. Oh, and look at Cairoli, bulletproof across the whoops, and he's taken half the field in one step. So just ahead of him now, these 4 guys are his target. Number 12 at the front, Alessandro Cinelli. Cairoli on the back of that group, running in 5th place. I wonder for how long. And Cairoli probably will want to entertain the crowd by getting through to the front. It's number 140, Mike Valade of France. Oh, that was him. And Valade, who looked a little untidy, goes down hard. And he looked a bit like a kind of AMCA junior, if you know what I mean. So Cinelli at the front now. Across this pretty demanding track. Look who's there in 2nd place. And I've got a feeling that Mike Valade might be out of this contest altogether. Cinelli still leads, but through to 2nd place now is Cairoli after that. Well, he made a mistake in his first outing, and he made a potentially huge mistake in the second one. The yellow flag's out to keep them away from the fallen Valade. And of course, under a yellow flag, no overtaking permitted. Cairoli now 2nd. In 3rd place, number 100, Manuel Becconcini. In 4th place, number 153, Marco Madi on the Madi Racing KTM. 5th place, number 973, Jean-Baptiste Marron of France on a Honda. Alex Cellini doing his best at the front, all those beautiful Italian flag leathers of Toni Cairoli are threatening. Of course, Toni, he may not be able to overtake underneath the yellow flags, but he can close the gap as much as he likes at that point. Oh, he's really looking for a way through now. He's menacing Cinelli. Red Honda, blue Yamaha. I'm a little concerned about Vlad. He's gone down hard. Cairoli attempts to rocket round the outside, goes low over the jumps to get the drive back down, comes up a bit short across the finish line tabletop. He's had an astonishing season until that unlucky Motocross des Nations, the Motocross of Nations at Budds Creek in the States. He's trying to make amends now in the European Supercross Series. Cairoli is riding energetically to keep Cairoli at bay for this long. Lap 6 out of 10 and he's still there at the front. You know, Cairoli's not holding back, is he? Riding the Decali Racing Yamaha, he'll be defending his MX2 World title in 2008. And this time he goes straight across the bows of Cinelli. But Cinelli, bless him, he's not being phased. He comes straight back at the world champion. Oh, well, that was a big move. He got such drive out of the left-hander there that just carried him past the ear of the man on the Honda, and Cinelli suddenly is drastically demoted to second place, and from last to first, Cairoli's in charge. And it's only at that point, when they get pretty high up over the finish line tabletop, that they catch a glimmer of the late afternoon sunshine. So Cairoli leads, still in third place. In fact, into third place goes Marco Madi on his KTM. Fourth now, number 973, Jean-Baptiste Maron of France. Demoted to fifth, Manuel Becconcini of Italy on his Yamaha. Behind him, number 204, Simone Cappellini on his Suzuki. In seventh place, number 777, all the sevens for Matteo Aperio on his Revolution Suzuki. Not much of a revolution, to be honest. Front. Number 222, making this race his own. A man who now has 21 career Grand Prix victories, putting him level with the ultimate, the great, in fact, just one ahead of the great Swede Håkan Karlqvist. He's obviously enjoying this outdoor game. He gave the impression that he liked that slightly softer going that he's got here, rather than the extremely solid ground that we get indoors. Cairoli's still only 22 years old. And he didn't start racing till he was 9, so he was a relatively late starter. Came through fast. Didn't win an Italian championship until 1998, when he was 13 years old, the Italian Senior Minicross Championship. Cairoli takes the win. Currently, of course, leads the championship. So Cairoli, Cinelli, Maron and Madi go through. And eventually, Mike Malad, of course, went out, and Becconcini drops right back to 9th place.
Toni Cairoli, the winner of the heat number 2, but you start in the last position. What happened?
Yeah, I just have a little bit trouble with my clutch, because it's I don't make warm so good, and when I leave the clutch, the engine was off, and I just lose I think 3-4 seconds for start the bike, and then I try to get a good feeling with the track, and then I win easily this heat.
Who's guest riding for TM Europe throughout this series? Fontanesi, Ferrari, Becconcini, Manet, Valade, Mercadier, Marco Stallman, they're all out there. So both the TMs of Marco Stallman and Jack Brunel. Jack Brunel, who was spotted by Ian Berwick, was competing in the DEP two-stroke championship this year. Riding bike number 77, he needs to be in the top 4 to make the main event. Messy first turn. And of course, whether or not you get it's so important to get the drive at the front. It's better to be at the front to get the drive out of there. Number 511 at the front is Stefano Dami of Italy. Another decent start by number 3, Beda Manet. But Jack Brunel's in front of him, number 77. So talking about young versus old in that picture. The blue TM, the orange KTM. But Beda Manet, who was always known as one of the great blockers in racing, is making himself as wide as possible. But Brunel has snooped through into second place. And there in third is number 3, Beda Manet. Number 204 in fourth place, Simone Cappellini. Right alongside number 412, Fabio Ferrari on his RSC Italia course Kawasaki. But 511 at the front, Stefano Dami. Looking a little unusual on a Suzuki after so long on Honda. And that man in second place, by the way, Jack Brunel, number 77. He'll be riding Honda, of course, for the SMX racing team in 2008. But enjoying this series on the Italian TM. That's the blue bike number 77, disappearing out of screen. And he's done just what he needed to do, because he's left this lot to fight cat and dog over the final 2 qualifying places, while he's got away at the front with Dami, the extremely experienced Italian. So if he could just talk, he's riding neatly as well. Tell you what, that's got nothing to do with Jason Higgs, that style. Jason will soon knock that out of him. Stefano Dami styling at the front. Jack Brunel just keeping it neat and tidy. He'll be doing his first full British Championship at British Championship level on the Hondas next year, contesting British Championship, the DEP two-stroke, and all local meetings. But this Supercross series, he's already done a fair bit of riding in Belgium and Holland, number 77, Jack Brunel. And this was an opportunity for him to race more, of course, on the continent, Italy, Spain, France, and finally in Germany, where this series concludes. The SMX Honda team he'll be riding for next year, with sponsorship from Top Gear, Auto Sector, and Downwell Demolition. We'll be looking to get some results from this lad. This is good experience for him, being out here amongst the level of riders that you've got, as he's got around him here. And while he's dominating proceedings with Dami, behind them it's number 140 who's got away now into third place, Mike Valade. Would you believe it, Mike Valade? And someone else has thrown it away at the end of the whoops. I didn't think we'd see Mike Valade again after he'd been laid out for so long when he crashed in the whoops in his last race. But would you believe it? Braveheart is out and he's in third place. Also coming through is number 412, Fabio Ferrari, challenging number 3, Beda Manet, for that vital 4th spot. And number 61 also on the move. That's Julien Mercadier of France on his Suzuki. Stefano Dami, however, has this race in the bag, but even better, Jack Brunel is just as comfortable and tidy behind him in second place. And that's what you need to do, get through to the main event, because there you can score points. Jack Brunel at the moment just has those 2 points he got from qualifying for his first main event. I beg your pardon, he hasn't got any points so far. No points yet for this man, Jack Brunel. Could this be the night that he gets some? He qualifies for the main event. That's what he needs to do to build the points up, and he looks chuffed at that. Behind him, Mike Valad gets a remarkable third place, ahead of Fabio Ferrari, who just nicks it from Beda Manet and Julian Mercadier. Stallman, Fontanesi, Riccao, Capellini and Marone, they've seen the last of their action for today.
Stefano Dami is the winner of the last chance qualifier. What happened, Stefano?
Yes, now I'm happy, and I crashed in my semi, and I can't qualify for the main event. And in this race, in last chance, it's very difficult because no more laps, and it's impossible to make an error. But I have a good start, and after I ride a good race, and I'm happy for this. I hope good for the final.
Amazing, that last lady, she looked remarkably like Toni Cairoli, but just proved that she could be beautiful and female, whereas he's a toothy little lad. Was it Lario Ricci just behind him, talking into the ear of Antonio Cairoli, probably trying to say to him, look, it's more important this time. Can you make sure you're in gear, you're switched on, and you operate the clutch properly? 10th qualifier, number 77, Jack Brunel, the only British influence on this series. The fact that he's out there at all means that the young Englishman is going to get some points at last on the board. Really, what he needs is a good start. What they all need is a good start. There's 12 of them out there. And I think Jack signally failed to get one. He's always got squeezed right out to the berm. That's always the risk of coming in on that wide line into the first turn. Meanwhile, at the front, Mike Valad on his JK Racing Honda has gone away at the front. And the two Italians soaring side by side. Number 111, Degli Esposti, number 222, Antonio Cairoli. Cairoli gets the better of the older man. Once again, a moderate start for Fabien Isoire, giving himself a lot of to-do. We know how fast he's been going throughout the event, but he's not been making the starts. His countryman Mike Valad he's there in second place, but still looking just a little bit rough. Oof, and not timing the rhythm section too well. I think Degli Esposti made a move on him, but didn't quite make it stick, so he's still back in third place on bike 111. MD Racing Suzuki of David Degli Esposti there, almost alongside number 87 Fabien Isoire. So Isoire has moved up from 5th to 4th. Oops, a daisy. But someone getting in a rare muddle just alongside him then. Number 511, the last chance winner, Stefano Dami. He worries me, this lad, Mike Valad. He looks like he's on the brink all the time. Meanwhile, at the front, Cairoli dominant. Degli Esposti second. Fabien Isoire trying to find a way past Mike Valad. Isoire finished third in the Spanish SX1 Supercross class of 2007, and here he goes, punishing his way across the ropes and nicking third place at the end of them from Valad. 2 years ago, he was the Spanish SX2 Supercross champion. That lad in yellow, Fabien Isoire, he's now through the third place. Can he make any impression on the Italians in front of him? Fabien Isoire currently joint fourth in the championship with David Janeri, but of course Janeri put himself out when he injured himself in an argument with the wall at Bilbao. So Fabien Isoire in a good position to move further up in the championship as he rattles across the ropes once more in third place. Behind him, number 140, Mike Valad, battling with 511 Stefano Dami. Behind them, number 29, Julian Bill, having made a poor start. He's chased by number 12, Alessandro Cinelli. And then number 153, Marco Madi, also struggling on the Madi Racing KTM. Number 620, Thomas Ramat of France on his Suzuki is ahead of number 77 in 10th place, the young Brit Jack Brunel. still leads, but the gap closing now between the yellow-clad Fabian Iswa and the man ahead of him. Both of them riding Suzuki. Degli Esposti and Julian Bill finally makes one of those passes stick at the end of the whoops, and the 24-year-old former Swiss champion moves through into 4th place. That's lap 6. It's a 13-lap final, unlucky for some. We're just approaching half distance. And the tall, raven-haired 20-year-old Fabian Iswa trying to put the pressure on the short, stocky Degli Esposti just ahead of him. Julian Bill, who has a great liking for Jeremy McGrath in the USA, and the reason he likes the USA, and I like this, is because look at this, we're getting already getting a little bit of fanciful styling from the leader. Julian Bill likes the USA because he loves iced tea, which is very much an American speciality. He has raced in places like Genoa, Paris-Bercy and Geneva. So Julian Bill lying in 4th place at the moment for Martin Honda. Enjoys racing Supercross, uses it a lot for training for his outdoor motocross. There he is, just coming into the picture on the left on the red Honda. But not at the moment on the rostrum. The leader, Cairoli, 222. Signed with Claudio De Carli's Yamaha team in 2004. And once he did that, once he joined the veteran Roman, former 500cc Grand Prix race winner back in the mid-80s. In fact, exactly 20 years ago, in 1987, was the only time that Claudio De Carli won a race in a 500cc motocross Grand Prix at Ponte d'Egli in Italy. But as soon as he's joined that team, joined forces with De Carli, the results started coming. His debut with the 125cc motocross Grand Prix way back in 2002 with a Honda at Loquette. Finished 21st. Who would have known what was to lie ahead for this little guy? Well, he's certainly dominating this race at the moment. Behind him, Davide Degli Esposti in 2nd place. Fabian Iswa not just able to keep the race, just can't inch close enough to the Italian opposition to put the pressure on him. The same story for Julian Bill on the Martin Honda. So the front 4 fairly spaced out. Stefano Dami is now in 5th place. 6th for number 12, Alessandro Cinelli. 7th for the surely slightly dizzy Mike Valad, who knocked 7 bells out of himself during his heat race. Chased by 8th place, number 153, the 19-year-old Marco Madi. Behind him, number 620, Frenchman Thomas Ramette. Then number 412, Fabio Ferrari on his RSC Italia course Kawasaki, ahead of number 77, TM's Jack Brunel. So Jack's been pushed back by Ferrari into 11th place. But the way the points score, that will still be good enough to get points. 11th place gets 2 points. The maximum 15 points would go to this man for victory. 12 points for 2nd, 10 for 3rd, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 through to 1 point for the 12th place finisher, or indeed non-finisher. And at the moment, Jack Brunel's in that position because one man went out on lap 5, and that was Matteo Aperio on his Suzuki. All the 7s, number 777. There's Degli Esposti coming into picture, number 111, still there in 2nd place. Fabian Iswa hasn't relented in his pursuit. He just hasn't managed to get close enough. Now, in amongst the lappers, Toni Cairoli. So while playing the inevitable styling games, he just needs to keep an eye on those people around him. But he looks like he's really enjoying himself out there. There is Jack Brunel just pulling to one side as he gets lapped. And at the moment, Jack Brunel is back ahead of number 412, Fabio Ferrari. They're having a bit of a private battle for 10th place. So Jack Brunel, could he yet hold on to that 10th place and make it 3 points? Cairoli goes for the Jeremy McGrath knack across the line. Second place will go to David Degliasposti, number 111. Look how far he is behind. He pancakes it over the top, and Frenchman Fabien Izoard scores good points to move himself up the championship table as the irrepressible Cairoli wheelies his way to celebration. And Jack Brunel loses out on that 10th place to Fabio Ferrari. Toni Cairoli wins it. Degliasposti second. Fabien Izoard third ahead of Julian Bills. Stefano Dami, Alessandro Cinelli. Marco Madi, a disappointing seventh ahead of Mike Malad. Thomas Romet, Fabio Ferrari, and finally Jack Brunel. Fabien Izoard, he gets the third place trophy. Second place for David Degliasposti.
Ancora. E pronti per l'acclamazione del vincitore, parliamo di Toni Cairoli!
And Toni Cairoli almost inevitably gets the plaudits for another victory. Had to give him best to Marvin Musquang in Bilbao, but he's back to winning ways after winning round one.
Third position for the Frenchman Fabien Izoard. How about the race?
I'm happy because I finished in the third position. It's the podium, but not very happy because I not ride easy. And the first lap is very difficult for me. I not take the good line, and it's very difficult. And after I come to Davide Degliasposti, but the speed is same, and I have many mistakes to the same jump, and it's not possible come for pass Davide. And third position is good, but for the championship and the podium. But I hope for Genova it's better.
You will be in Genova.
Yeah, Genova and Munich. And I hope finish to the podium in the championship.
Fabien Izoard then, he gets himself a third place and he moves to fourth in the championship on 24 points.
Was the second on the main event. Your previews was good.
Yeah, I did a good start. I was second and I rode behind Toni, but he rode a little bit more fast than me and nothing, so I'm happy. I'm glad tonight. So that's it. I want to say thank you to all my sponsors: Suzuki, Airo, Motu, Oxstar, ProGrip, Toshiba, even all the staff of my team. Thank you very much.
We are at the end of the main event, and the winner is Toni Cairoli.
Yes, you know, it's a very good race for me, and I had a good start, and then I tried to push so hard for the race, for make a good gap, and then I just controlled the race the last 5 laps, and I'm happy for the race and for the public that come here for me, and for the nice race that Lenzoni organized here, and it's also good training for Genova, because this year I want do a very good race there. I want to win this race, and it's good race for that, and I feel every race I feel much more better than last year in the Supercross track, and for sure this year in Genova I will do my best and try to win the race.
Yeah, your start was much better than in the qualifier, but it's not usually your only shot. What happened?
No, it's just because I ride in the Supercross track. I ride with a different bike for the start. I start in second gear, and I have not so good feeling with that, and I have to try more the start.
So a bit more practice needed for the man who leads the championship. 42 points now ahead of David Estegliesposti, moving second ahead of Marvin Musquang, and Fabien Isoire just 1 point behind his fellow Frenchman in fourth place.